Hey all, welcome back to Sim Racer's Journey. Today we're going to talk about raising your safety rating in Assetto Corsa Competizione, or ACC. There's three reasons I think to raise your safety rating. One, online lobbies have a minimum level, a minimum safety rating that you have to have achieved in order to get into them. So if you want to go online racing, you have to have a reasonably decent safety rating. The second one is that it teaches you good, disciplined, and safe driving, which again, in an online race is a very important skill to have. And the third is that it raises your situational awareness. It's interesting that the safety rating in ACC is abbreviated SA. SA also stands for situational awareness. And in this case, it's who's in front of you, behind you, to the right, and to the left. And having that in your head at all times as to who's where and when is really, really helpful. We're going to break it into 5 parts, 4 fairly small parts and 1 bigger part. Track choice, car choice and setup, game setup options, game mode and race setup, and then some on-track examples of how this works. Any information that you see in bullet points that come through the video here are going to be available in the description below. And if you like and you're getting some value out of what you're seeing here today, please like it and subscribe it below. Thanks. So now we're going to talk about picking a track, picking a car and doing a setup on a car. First thing, as far as picking a track, pick one that you're familiar with, one that you're confident and comfortable on. I like a wide track so you can spend more time alongside of another car where you can increase your safety rating quicker. And I like one with long straights for that same reason. You can spend more time alongside another car, which seems to be the highest and easiest place to raise your safety rating. I always pick Spa. I did all my safety rating increases at Spa. I really like Spa. I raced it back a lot in my Forza 7 days. And I guess when I say I really like Spa most of the time. Sometimes I just straight hated Spa. There were some night races there in Forza days that were just awful. But it's a good track, long straights and wide. Next, we're going to talk about picking a car. It's the same as a track, same theory. You want a car that you're familiar with. You don't want to try something new, same as you don't want to try a new track. You want a car that you're confident and comfortable in. Again, like I say, something that you're just at ease in. I think front engine, rear wheel drive cars are more predictable and less twitchy. They have more understeer and less oversteer, which is generally a little bit more manageable, a little bit safer to drive. Aston Martins, Bentley, Lexus, Mercedes, they all sort of fit that sweet spot. And also pick a car that has good straightaway speed. Now we're going to go on to a just little quick setup, car setup look. Again, car setup, use what you're comfortable with, what you're familiar with. If you're not comfortable and familiar with something, and I wasn't for a long time, I didn't have any setups I'd done at all, I didn't know anything about it, still don't know a whole lot about it, a lot to learn there. I always use the safe preset setup. It's generally very conservative, it's not going to be an aggressive setup, and it's a good place to start. So car setup is a pretty easy thing if you look at it that way. I have some setups that I use now that I've picked up from others, modified to suit my own tastes and driving style, but a good safe bet is a safe preset setup. So now we're going to talk a little bit about game setup options. Come over here to options, hit that, and then go down to gameplay general. And here you want to come down to ratings. Make sure that that is on. Ratings is, if you leave it on multiplayer only, what's going to happen is no matter how well you do, how accident free, how close you are, all those things, your safety rating will not go on up because it's not being counted. You're playing more or less offline. So make sure that that is on. Online stats, that's sort of your choice. I always left it on. If you hit multiplayer only, things like track consistency, or track competence, consistency, car control, things like that will not improve. You won't get any rating on that. But it's really up to you. That's more or less your choice. Then come down here to assists, go to ideal line, make it visible. There's really nothing to be gained by having it invisible. You're looking for every advantage you can get, so you can drive consistently, safely, and increase your safety rating. So I highly recommend leaving the ideal line visible. And the last thing is over here to HUD. Come down here to lap time. I really encourage you to disable lap time. It's a tyrant. It's a little tyrant that sits up in the upper left corner of your windscreen, showing you your last lap time, showing you how much ahead or behind you are, and generally encouraging you to try harder, to take risks and things like that. So I highly recommend that you turn that off or disable it. Circuit map, I would say that you want to disable that as well. It's a visual distraction that you just don't need. If you're on a track you're familiar with, chances are really low that you need a circuit map. So I would highly recommend that you disable that as well. And that's pretty much it for this level of setup in the game. We'll get into some of the other stuff going forward here. So now we're going to talk about game mode, the event that works best to get your safety rating up. So get over here to game mode, open that up. I always use the quick race. That seemed to work the best for me. No pit stops or anything like that to distract you. Come down to race length. I always set it to 30 minutes. That gave me enough time to be on the track, to get a sense of the pace, to get the tires warmed up, and to just have enough time then to actually improve my safety rating. I tried 15 minutes a few times, didn't work, not enough time. You spent too much time warming up tires, getting a sense of pace, things like that, and you only had a few laps to actually increase your safety rating. So then come on down here to starting position. I always start last. This isn't a race, like I've said. Leave your competitive urges in the pits. You don't want them out here on the track with you. It's not a game to pass anybody, it's a game to increase your safety rating. So like I said, leave those competitive urges behind. And I'll tell you what, that was really, really hard for me. Yeah, really hard, still is. So I start last. That just gives you, the whole field is in front of you to see. You're not going to be caught in the middle of a pack where somebody dings you. And again, remember, if they hit you, even if it's not your fault, it makes your safety rating decline. Opponent's skill, bring that down, to 80, the lowest level. You're not looking to race the world-class drivers out there. You're looking to have somebody that is okay. That's all you're after, because you just want to stay close to them. That's how you increase safety rating. Opponent aggressiveness, we'll crank that down to 40. We don't want to be out there with somebody who's overly aggressive, who is going to potentially cause us problems. If we're in last place, it's probably not going to be directly on us, but somebody aggressive in front of us might cause an accident that's unavoidable. We go plowing into it, and guess what? Our safety rating goes down. So now we're ready to get on the track. I mean, we've talked about the sort of the mechanics of it, our objectives, leaving that competitive urge in the pits, picking your car, picking your track, so on and so forth. So we're here at Spa. I'm 20th on the grid there, Mint Mosquito. Yes, that's my gamer tag, I know. That's why when I started playing Xbox Live, that's the gamer tag that it generated for me. And I'm evidently too cheap or too lazy to change it, but maybe one day I will. So let's start the race.
Going double file.
Coming up on turn one. I've never quite understood why this is just so chaotic. It's like you took a bunch of toddlers and put them inside cars and told them to go on a racetrack.
Green light, show them where to go.
Okay, right out of the gate here. We're going to take it easy. We got cold tires. Everybody else has cold tires. We want to get a sense of the pace, see how things are going that way. So we're going to give them everybody else a lot of room. We'll drive next to him for as long as we can on this straightaway. Back off from the throttle a little bit, get more time next to him.
Clear on the right.
Keep an eye on their brake lights.
Car on the right.
A little bit more time alongside him, let him go.
Clear on the right. Car on the left.
And we'll just try and pace him down the straightaway here.
Clear on the left.
A little closer than I wanted to be there, which was me being a little bit over aggressive. I also find it helpful too to, in the setup for the HUD, turn lap times off. It's just another distraction. It's like, oh gosh, that lap wasn't as good as the other lap. I should speed up. You don't need that.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
That was a good straightaway. We had a lot of time next to him.
Car on the left.
Give ground, let him take this corner. Okay, we've gotten back in contact. I can pull alongside him. This is increasing my safety rating quite a bit.
Clear on the left. Car on the left.
That car on the left, car on the right, that's your sweet spot. That's where you want to be. As the session goes on, you'll find places on the track besides those long straightaways where you can drive alongside the other cars. Take advantage of those when you can safely.
Clear on the right.
Stay tucked up tight, not too tight. Eyes on those brake lights. Okay, and again, like I say, maintaining contact. That's where the safety rating comes in. If I drive a perfectly safe race, but I'm not close to anyone else, my safety rating will not improve. So try and stay close. But again, keep those competitive urges down a little bit. See, like that, that's not that's not doing what I'm preaching. Give him the brake, let him in early. Remember, the object is close, not compete.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out.
Yellow flag. And those are the kind of messes you want to stay out of at all costs. Broke contact, we'll have to catch up to him, push a little bit. Got a green flag again. This was an overly aggressive move, completely unnecessary, almost got me in trouble. Don't do this.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
Okay, we got a yellow flag out. Brake a little bit early, and not quite early enough.
Clear on the left.
That's it for this video on raising your safety rating in ACC. I hope you learned something along the way. If you have any tips on raising your safety rating, please drop them in the comments below. If you liked it, please indicate that and subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on Sim Racer's Journey.